Probably about to get started.
We talking about what we talking about. I can do this all day. What we talking about? What we talking about? What we talking about? I ain't feeling what you saying. What we talking about? From time to time, every 10 of brothers argue. You gotta listen in to catch a glimpse here from our views. I finish every debate that I'm in. Gonna start it up in time tomorrow. We run it again. Ain't no stopping us. What we talking about? What we talking about? I can do this all day. What we talking about? What we talking about? What we talking about? I ain't feeling what you saying. What we talking about?
Man, I think we're back for another episode of the Arguing Brothers podcast. Fellas, how y'all doing today?
Man, everything good, big homie. Light and easy, decent weather outside. Hey, it's great.
That always sounds good, man. So we back like the IRS tax season. So it's good to be in the building. Great, how you doing, man, as well?
Man, all good, bro. Another good day. Spring-like day in the DMV.
Yeah, it's actually fairly well. I was out with my mom earlier, man, and we just we were just running 1,000 errands trying to get things done, and she was commenting on how the weather is too. I think she was kind of shocked that the weather is what it is, but this is just what it is this season. It's very odd season when it comes to the temperature.
For sure.
Yeah, it is normally everywhere, but it'd be great.
Yeah, normally it does. It definitely does. To be 60 degrees today, that's a win situation.
All
So
day.
man, let's get to the what we here for. We here for to talk about the Super Bowl. I mean, we got a lot going on. This is the Super Bowl edition of our show today. So let's jump into it right now. Let's talk about, man, like we're gonna get into our thoughts, maybe get into our feelings, see what's gonna happen. But let's talk about the legacy what we have when it comes to two of the greatest, maybe the greatest duo of all time when it comes to tight end and receiver. I mean, tight end and quarterback. Um, Kelsey, Mahomes boy. Do you start us off, man? Do you think this may be the greatest duo when it comes to a tandem in pro football history? Greatest
Ooh,
of all time.
that's real tough. I mean, I think they're in maybe the top 5, top 10, because you had a lot of great duos out there. Like I said, you had Antonio Gaines, Phillip Rivers, you have Gronk and Brady, you have Peyton and Marvin Harrison. You know what I'm saying? You had uh you had a lot of great ones out there. And I think for as them being the best, they in the I would put them in the top 10, because you had, Marino and Duper and Clayton. I mean, Marino and Duper. You had, Montana, Dwight Clark. You had a Novacek and my man from Dallas. So I mean, you had a lot of great tight end, and QB duos. I would think, I would put them in the top 5 with no question right now. Now, if they go on to win the Super Bowl and both of them have a great day, then I think you probably can argue that they might be one of the best.
Yeah, I would say they're the greatest tight end quarterback combo of all time. But overall duo, maybe top 7 or so. Like you said, you got Marino, Clayton, Duper, you got Braun Brady, and they won multiple Super Bowls.
Correct.
Rice and Montana, Young and Rice,
Yeah.
like Irvin and Troy Aikman.
You had Elway and Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, no, like so you even go way back to Dan Fouts and Kellen Winslow.
Kellen Winslow, correct.
So that's a great one, though. But I would give them top 10 definitely. And if they win another Super Bowl, I'm giving them top 5 all the time.
But they want to.
They gotta get another one. I need another one.
So who you mentioned some of the and we just talking about tight ends, but hey, let's talk about receivers too. I mean, I mean, hell, well, you said Shannon Sharp and you Shannon
Elway.
Sharp and Elway, but they've only got 2.
Yeah.
So like Shannon Sharp got
Montana and Rice, well, they got 3 together.
they got only 3 though. That's only 2 more. I mean, only 1 more.
Yeah. I mean, they would have to win. If they were to win, that would put them, because don't Gronk and Brady got 3 together or 4?
I think Gronk and Brady only got they only got 3 because Gronk's first 3 was Gronk was there for the first 3. Was he there? I don't think he was there for the 4th one. I think he was there for the last 3.
And he got 1 in Tampa.
Yeah, so they got
the one in Tampa. He got the 1 in Tampa and okay.
No, he got 3 together. They got 3 together.
Mm-hmm.
Gronk got 4. Brady got 7, right?
Yeah, Brady got 7 because they got the 1 in Tampa and the 6 with the 6. So he got 3 without him. Okay.
Yeah, so he got 4. So I mean, I still think they're a better combo though. Even though they got 4 championships, if it comes down, if Mahomes and Kelce, the Chiefs win, I would put them number 1. For as QB, no, QB tight end.
Still over Gronk and Brady?
Yes.
Well, Gronk was unstoppable.
And what is Kelce?
You can. There have been games where Kelce, you can have stopped him.
But
Gronk, you could not stop Gronk.
So who has the most touchdowns in the playoffs, Ray?
Kelce has. Yeah, I get that.
So like y'all always talk about with me with championships and numbers.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what Ray.
Gronk was unstoppable, though. Nobody's not saying Kelce's unstoppable.
Ray, who? Kelce is killing. He's unstoppable.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, Gronk was unstoppable too. But I mean, it's a great debate to have who number 1 all time between them two.
But dog, Gronk can't run the same routes like Kelce can run the routes. Like he's a big guy and he can post up and he run a little simple, but Kelce can run just about all the routes.
Now you nitpicking.
But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, give me Kelce. Give me Kelce.
Yeah. It's not a bad pick, no doubt about it. But yeah, that's a good debate. Like I definitely got them. I mean, you count the chips, they definitely top 5. But like I said, Irvin and Aikman. They were cold.
Irvin, Aikman. I mean, you got me a lot of. I mean, you got factor in the Steelers, Lynn Swan.
Yes. On them, yep.
But I'm just talking about them being tight end QB. Now overall,
no, I'm talking about but I'm talking overall. You still got to factor them in with Lynn Swan.
Yes. Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
And you got to, and I think with Troy Aikman and Jay Novacek. Because everybody knows, even though Michael Irvin saw a lot of the Jay Novacek really was that security blanket 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5. He was the security blanket. And he kept a lot of drive. If you watch a lot of the Cowboys games, Jay Novacek was hard to cover. And he
wasn't that guy though. He wasn't that guy though. Like,
huh?
Nobody didn't think when you think the Cowboys in a duo, it's Irvin and Aikman, dog.
But if you watch the games itself, I don't disagree that Irvin and Aikman was the duo. But if you physically watch the game and look at the totality of the game on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5, he went to Jay Novacek a lot because he knew nobody could really cover him.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just like no different with Phil Simms and Mark Bavaro. Bavaro was a great tight end back then with Phil Simms. When they had the little running back, Joe Mars and all them, Mark Bavaro, they're not in that same class, but I'm just saying they had a good duo together. So it's like, you got
and Antonio Brown, like it's a ton of duo. Jordy Nelson and Aaron Rodgers, Rodgers and Donald Driver. Like, no, there's a ton of duos, bro.
You can go back to the dude who used to play with Virginia Tech that played with them. That couldn't stay healthy all the time. What's the dude's name? That played with Green Bay with my man with
Jennings?
Not Jennings. When they won the Super Bowl. He played at Virginia Tech, receiver for Virginia Tech. I got to think of his name again. Yeah. But I mean, it's a lot of duos out there. I think it's hard to put them number 1, but I do think they'll be in the top 5 all the time.
Yeah, they're definitely making the case. But, gee, and like I said, there's so many different ones that was cold, though. Like, you scan the league, bro. Let's see. I'm trying to think of all, like, Breeze and Jimmy Graham had a nice run.
They did.
I'm trying to see who else had a nice little running receiver.
Oh, Tony Gonzalez and Matt Ryan had a good run.
Who was the quarterback in KC?
They didn't have any championships though. They didn't have any championships though.
True.
So I still feel like you got to put Kelce, and you got to put Kelce and Mahomes in there, man. I just feel like they're just too lethal of a duo. And just duo. I don't want to limit them. I'm not even going to put just tight end quarterback. I'm just going to talk overall, man. I just think they put in too much work. 6 straight AFC championship games.
Yeah.
4 Super Bowl appearances. Going on 5, and then you got with 2 rings each. I mean, I don't like them. Personally, I don't like them at all, especially after they picked on the little kicker. But I will say this: you got to realize that they still have. They're pretty much. I mean, they're up there, man. They're creeping up there between being in another championship. They're creeped up being like number 1, man. I don't see who else can. When you put their resume with Super Bowl and their personal accomplishments, both one of them leading the. I think he's leading the all tight ends and catches. The other one won the MVP and touchdowns. The other one won the MVP 2 years in. I mean, has 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Is that too as well? What can you really say for them from an individual standpoint, from a stat standpoint? Then you put in everything else. I feel like it's they're there, and now it's just about who you're going to compare them against when you pull the list.
I mean, you have to go Brady Gronk. I mean, if you comparing the chips, if they win this week, like that'll be the only real big tight end combo you really base them against.
Yeah, it could be that, man. It could be Brady or Gronk. I mean, but like I said, I don't want to limit it. I think you can compare them against Jerry and
Montana.
Only one with that, Montana was perfect, right? And Patty has lost one already. Right?
I mean, I didn't say you got to compare the records, but I'm talking about production-wise.
Yeah. Production is dead, definitely.
And they definitely have been 2 of the greatest duos, or one of the greatest duos to ever play in the NFL. So you got to start comparing. You're not going to compare them against today's times and athletes or accomplishments. You got to start comparing them right now at this point to the past.
Gotcha.
That's the debate now. The debate's no longer just like right here where we're at today. It has to now be like, what can you look? You look at the all-time great duos. That's where they're at.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
No, I think what they have accomplished, like you said, individually and where they are today, you really do have to really like look at, okay, they got to be somewhere in between that top 1 and top 5, like without any question. And like you said, it's so many duos out there, and it's so many different brands of how they played the game and how the game is today. I still believe that they still could have made those same kind of things back then. Now, as far as like hitting the quarterback and all that, Patty would have took some more punishment like them other guys did. But I do think that when you comparing it, they up there. There.
Yeah, it's you got to really give them their props, man. I don't care for them. I don't care for the Chiefs or team or organization at this point. But I will. I gotta call it with it like I see it, and you gotta put the greats. All right, let's jump into like the game in general. I mean, right now, as we standpoint, San Fran is the favorite, considered to be the favorite going to the game right now, as far as the point spreads in Vegas and standpoint. Let's give a question right quick, like on this, and D starts off again. Should San Fran be the favorite, even though KC is the defending champions?
I think if from a top to bottom overall, I think San Francisco has the better team on paper from the standpoint of that at the wide receiver core and the running back. I think defensively, I think they're about equal defensively. Outside of, I think the corners and safeties for Kansas City is better than the corners and safeties for 49ers, because the 49ers has fallen off from a top 1-5 defense until their secondary fell off at the back end of the season. They dropped to like 28th in the pass. So I think from an offensive standpoint, I think that's the edge for San Francisco. From that standpoint, the wide receivers are better, and the running back. I think that basically for me gives them the edge, even though KC is defending champs.
Yeah, I got San Francisco being a favorite. He's got a better overall team. And if you go position by position, other than quarterback, that's really the only position I give KC an advantage. Who else? D-line.
Have you seen
I
that?
can't say that. I think KC has a better secondary.
Yeah.
You can really compare their linebackers. Their linebackers probably interchangeable. Fred Warner has had a good season, but he didn't have a season he had last year.
Cole.
Who?
You can't even name KC linebacker.
I know they're good. I don't need to name them. I watched them play. They're really good.
Exactly.
I don't know whether you're.
I'll give you the secondary.
The secondary is good too.
Yeah, his secondary has played great this year.
Their secondary outplayed San Francisco secondary.
Okay, I'll give you that. And the quarterback. But other than that, Frisco guy, I think, has a better O-line, a better D-line, better receiver, better running back. Like, what more can we go on?
Well, who's okay? You say they have a better D-line.
Yeah.
Who on San Francisco D-line is better than Chris Jones?
Yeah, you can say Bosa.
No, he's not productive as Chris Jones.
Yep.
He wasn't this past season. He might have
had a great year. He might have had a greatest year this year, but
no, he should.
You line them up.
You got
line them up. Resume together.
Who?
If you line your resumes up together, you can say Bosa and Chris Jones can be. You can pick them. Anybody would say that.
Okay, so outside of Bosa, who else you got?
Shit, Solomon is nice. Who else down there? Chase, he came with Chase out in the bed. Yeah, he just not really that good.
So
I'm just saying that you don't know nobody else on KCB line other than Chris Jones, right? But I'm just saying from mano, I just think overall they got a better group than KC had. But to answer the question, I think Frisco should come in as a favorite, a better team. I feel both are playing well. Yeah, they should be the favorite. I think Frisco should be the favorite. It's just like a close call.
I mean, if you asked me this question, and when I was thinking about it as I wrote this up, I don't see how. I mean, you always got to factor in Super Bowl experience. Now, San Fran had it, but I don't think not all those players that they had on that roster 2 years ago or 3 years ago are on that team now. Yeah. They don't have the same quarterback. They're now in the backfield as far as running backs. Yeah, you give them an advantage. CMC. Receivers, the way KC's receivers playing right now, I can't say they have an advantage. It is a clear advantage, but I can say that San Francisco receivers have made more plays for their quarterback. I mean, once you get past that in the O-line, then this is because of Trent Williams, but then and the fact that I think KC's All-Pro center is not going to be playing.
Joe Tooney, yeah, he's out.
He's not going to be playing this game. Once you get past that factor, man, like it's up in our hands. KC defense has shown to be a very stout, sturdy defense, holding the Baltimore Ravens to only 10 points, holding Miami Dolphins to only 7 points, holding Buffalo Bills to 24 points. They play really well in great stretches of football. Last time I checked, San Francisco been giving up leads. I mean, we start off with the game against the Green Bay Packers. Well, they should have lost because the Green Bay Packers dropped 2 on 6 picks. Or let's talk about the game against
Detroit
Lions. Detroit Lions, who also came and jumped on and was up 24-7. And probably could have put that game away in the first half, but they had some different type of play calling. I feel like this is the type of game where I can't look at San Francisco and think they're the favorite, man. I'm kind of blown that they're walking in with a 2.5, 3-point favorites because I mean, there's nothing about them that I see from my point of view that says they should walk in think as confident as they should be as far as the more talented team. Their secondary gives up a lot of big plays, a lot of big plays. They have not been studied. Just like KC, who's had a tough time stopping the run, so has them. Yeah. So has San Francisco. So when I say
team, I'm thinking like, oh, they're better, or I think they may. I think I'm seeing clear cut advantage. This is a pick'em game.
It's really a pick'em game. Yeah,
it's a pick'em game. It's really going to be about who has the best strategy, who plays the cleaner game. That's what I see here. I think last time they played each other, Mahomes struggled and threw a couple of interceptions, and I think that's what kind of should have got them the loss. I think it was the running game and them hitting the back out the backfield. It kind of changed that game. And then Tyreek made a great catch on that one pass that kind of got the game in their favor. But for the most part, they struggled, and Jimmy G couldn't make the play that he needed to win the game. But then you got to factor in the coaching. One coach has got to that game and gave up large leads, kind of played in that and stopped being so aggressive, or been too aggressive at times, and lost the game. So I gotta put the coaching staff against each other. And Andy Reid, when he got the quarterback he needed to, has been successful. So I can't just say just because of this factors out, man. I can't do it. You gotta put them as as a pick 'em type of game, man. I can't see how in the world they're just the favorite.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. So we'll see this. We'll see, but it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good game. I don't know how much I'm going to be watching it, but it'll be a good one. Right?
What you doing, man?
I'm not that interested. I'm more focused on Usher. Watching Usher performance there. Once I have Usher performance, I think I'm going to find something else to do. It's like somebody asked you what you going to do for Valentine's Day. I'm going to be at work. Like, what is it? Like, it's Wednesday. What you going to be doing? Because it's work for me. Like, what are you going to be on? So like you gonna be partying up. I'll be at my job. Like what we got going on? Like, so we'll see, man. Next question that we have on the list today, man. If Brock Purdy, who's a 7th round draft pick, Mr. Irrelevant, if he wins this Super Bowl, does this make them an elite quarterback in the NFL? Does that finally put him on an elite list, where he's no longer just the game manager, but now he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback and an elite quarterback? What would it take for him to get on that list? I'm gonna start with you, Ray. If he wins that Super Bowl, what would it take to get on that list, man?
I need a couple more years. Playing at an elite level.
So winning the Super Bowl won't be enough?
Nah, because I think he's still gonna have the label of a game manager. I mean, shit, Eli done won one, then probably further. Like it's not. I ain't gonna say it's easy to win a Super Bowl. It's hard, but people not gonna look at him as an elite quarterback just because he won a Super Bowl. They gonna look at, oh well, look at the pieces he had around him. Oh well, he got an all-time great running back. Like they gonna use that against him. But I need to see at least a few more years of playoff sustained success to talk about now Purdy in that elite status. I don't need a game where you're throwing 4 or 5 interceptions. Like I just need the consistency, and of course, you make that elite status in the playoffs. So I need a few more years.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think if he do win, I mean, it'll give him a great confidence booster, and to go in and beat a team like Kansas City. But at the end, for me, like Ray said, I think he's gonna have to show me, take what he's done from this point on, and prove that he still can win. After this, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, come on now, and I just think that your success from what he does now, because now you're the guy of the San Francisco 49ers. You know what I'm saying? It's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're their quarterback. If you're going to win the championship, you're their quarterback. Can you handle the pressure from here on out of winning the championship? And can you continue to get them to the playoffs? Can you continue to get them to the NFC championship and get them to another Super Bowl? So I think it's going to take, I think, like Ray said, a couple of more years. I mean, because like people making an issue of being a game manager, but listen, when you're a game manager, you're not turning the ball over. You're leading your team down the field and scoring touchdowns, or you putting them in the position to win games. So being a game manager is not bad. I mean, people making a big issue about it, but hell, you're not turning the ball over. You continue to win. So I do think if he does win the championship, I think he's gonna have to win a couple of more, go a couple of more seasons with winning records and get into the NFC championship, or maybe even get into another Super Bowl where you can put him in that elite category.
I agree with you, but I don't think this makes him, an elite quarterback because he ends up if he ends up winning the Super Bowl. I think like you guys say, it's gonna be more accolades. I think getting there has been, the recipe of good coaching with good playmaking around him. And I feel like that's still gonna be the issue until he gets to that next level. Right. So that's going to be really honestly the key for him. What can he do to keep moving forward? If he keeps doing forward, then he has one of those seasons where it's a breakout season. Sort of how Tom Brady eventually did. Start off as game manager the first 3 years, and then after that, kind of start exploding, get on his own, and work his way into one of those key star players. Then we can start calling him an elite quarterback. But I think right now, as is, he's just really honestly. He's really managing the team, doing the right things to get them the right plays, and it makes sense. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the fact that it's going to take a little bit more for him becoming an elite for us to consider him, or the opinions of others consider him as an elite quarterback. He can think of himself as anything, but I think for everybody else, we still feel like maybe he's not that elite level just yet.
Because if you think about it, if you look at the games, he's put them in the hole by turning the ball over.
Yeah, he has.
So, I mean, he's fixed it. He's fixed it in the second half. But in the first half, for them starting off slow, he has thrown picks to put them in those situations on their side of the field, which got them behind. So, I mean,
that's been a lot of issues.
And that's been a lot of their issues. So, I mean, when you say a game manager, and people are like, oh, he's not a game manager, he's done it. But if you watch the game, he has put them in those positions for the game to get going up. Yeah.
By his lack of executing the game plan.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that's his next step is to understand that when the offense depends on him, right? When the offense is being pushed and driven by him, and the playmaking goes through him at all costs, not no bubble screen, short plays, guys running for 10, 20, 30 yards, wide open players. When he's just carving the team up and really getting the ball out of his hands and doing all the right things, I think that's at the point we start saying this dude's elite.
Yep.
Right now, I mean, I think he's still hit a position where he's working his way up.
And look, winning solves the whole elite deal. You keep winning, playing exceptional football, game-winning drives, stuff like that, the accolades and elite status gonna come.
I agree with that. What do you guys? Next question up. What do you guys think What do you think this a win for Shannon would think it'd do for his legacy?
Go ahead, D.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be huge, bro. Because like you said, coming from being an assistant with the Atlanta Falcons, going that lead in the Super Bowl, right? We always question some of the play calling Shannon had. He lost the Super Bowl to Kansas City a couple years ago. And we look at Shanahan as one of those elite coaches. We could say he probably 1, 2, maybe he might be one in some people's eyes. And then you see the coaching that he's producing that's performing at a high level other places. Winning a Super Bowl will definitely cement his legacy, going forward. And he's super young. Like he still have a ton of more years to go. But I think this will help cement his legacy. He's lost on the biggest stage twice, one as a coordinator, one as a head coach. And I think this is his time, and it definitely will help his legacy going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think this will put him not with the greats, but it will transcend him in the right direction. And like you said, the Atlanta game, his stubbornness of trying to throw the ball killed him in that game. I think the game with the first time against the Chiefs, I think the quarterback Jimmy G missed a lot of open people, missed a lot of reads, and he didn't make the play that he needed to make to get them over the hump. That would have won in the game if he could have completed that pass downfield where the guy was wide open. He just overthrew him. So I think this would do a lot for him, and it would say that it would show that he's been to the bottom. He knows how it feels to lose 2 Super Bowls, but then comes back and win. And then on top of that, you beat Andy Reid, who is a first ballot Hall of Famer. You beat Mahomes, first ballot Hall of Famer, and beat the Kansas City Chiefs, who right now is just taking the place of the face of the NFL. That's big for him. That is real big for him and big for the San Francisco organization, who hasn't won a championship. Shit, they've been stuck on 6 for the last 20 years, 20 plus.
Yeah, I think they've been on 6 since the late 90s. Or
so that's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying, you now you have accomplished what Bill Walsh and all those guys have accomplished, and you were in that category because you brought that trophy back to them. So this would be big.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be. Yeah, I agree with everybody, man. I think it's just one of those things where it would be a kind of like a mental piece for him. He's always been known as a great offensive mind,
Mhm.
but it would be cool to see him. If I don't see him get that recognition of being like a championship winning coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right? I think everybody think he has the, he has the assets, he has the tools to be successful, but still he's been successful. I mean, the guys, I think he's played in what, 3 of the last 4 NFC championship games.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe who went to the Super Bowl last year? No, he was in NFC championship
Eagles.
last year. He was
What?
in the one before that with the Rams. He's been in the last 4. They've been in 4 straight NFC championship games.
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken.
I look at Kyle like how Andy Reid was. Like when Andy
Yeah,
Reid
I think
finally got that
just
Super
getting
Bowl.
that helps.
Once you got that Super Bowl, then we looked at Andy Reid like, boy, look, he one of the greatest of all time. And not saying Shannon is, with Andy Reid, because Andy Reid had a lot of success with Philly, but it kind of reminds me when Andy was trying to get that monkey off his back, trying to get that first Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that's where he's at. He's at that point where he still needs to get to that next step, and maybe having a quarterback, so how Andy found his Mahomes, maybe finding Purdy, maybe finally gets him to that next step.
Mm-hmm.
He has. I mean, listen, he's always had the tools like we just talked about, right? He's always been somebody that everybody respects and highly respects, and a great offensive mind. But this has just been the one thing been plaguing him, not winning that big game, not winning that championship. This is probably one of his best opportunities at this point, because that team's going to continue to get aging out eventually, right? That just happens when it comes to NFL teams. It's very rare you see 2 teams continuously playing this high level football for so long. Like eventually, you go to a point where you're going to have a down season or a down year, and you're not going to be able to come back with the same level of talent because people just get older.
And
It's
you
a
got
very
to
tough game. Yeah, it's a very tough game. Let's dive to the game and some of the impact of the game at this point. Like, B start this one off. Like, who do you think is going to be the most impactful player that's not a quarterback?
I think the tackles for Kansas City. Can they block Bosa? Can they defend? Can they keep Mahomes off the ground where he don't have to keep running to his right, running to his left, having to make plays on the run like he did in the Tampa Bay game? You don't want him doing that all game. Those 2 tackles going to have to stand up and fight. They're going to have to chip Bosa. They're going to have to chip Chase Young. They're going to have to do certain things on the offensive line, especially with Joe Tooney being out. That's a big piece that's missing. So you're going to have to figure out a way to, can you run the ball? Can you, get the ball to the back out of the backfield? Things like that. Me personally, I think the defense is going to be fine. I just think those 2 tackles is an important piece because they've been the pieces that been giving Kansas City trouble on offense when Mahomes has been getting rushed and getting sacked a lot. Those has been the 2 tackles. So if those 2 tackles come to play like they've been playing against Buffalo, they did well. They did well last week against Baltimore with a tough defense. They didn't get too many. They only got 1 bad penalty when it was going in where he hit the dude in the back. He ain't had no, they ain't had no involvement in the play. The dude already passed him to score the touchdown. But if those 2 tackles come to play and they can give Mahomes time to get that ball downfield, I think it'll be easy pickings.
Yeah, I got one on each side. I got the center for Casey, right? A lot of times we don't think the center is very important a lot of times, but he makes all the calls, all the checks for the whole line, shifting this way, shifting that way. That takes the pressure off of Mahomes having to, do all the checks. And then for me, for San Francisco, the secondary. Don't give up the big plays. Take their receivers out the game. Rice, Scallon, like if you take away the receivers where Patty only now can focus on checking it down to Pacheco or getting the ball to Kelce, now you're limiting the game right in front of you. Don't give up big plays. So the secondary for Frisco, and I want to say the center for Casey, those are 2 big X factors for me.
I think for when you talking about non-quarterback, to me, man, it's 100% going to be the receivers for KC. Can they get open against San Fran defensive backs? That's going to be the most essential thing because they're going to get the ball out pretty quickly because that D line. Can those guys get open? Can those guys get open? CMC is going to be a huge. Him and Debo are going to be huge in this game. Like, can they break those tackles that they normally break? Can they get those extra yards they've been getting all season long? Can those guys have an impact on this game against a Chief defense who's been playing well against everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is really going to be like, and can Shanahan dial it up? He's gonna have to really get in his bag this game. You know, we saw last year that they do have some trouble. I mean, Philly put a lot of pressure on them.
Mm-hmm.
Philly put a lot of pressure on them. And if it wasn't for that one bad play, man, they could have went a different way. Philly could have won that championship. But it's gonna be interesting to see how they manage this game. Like, I mean, but yeah, man, I just need to see what can Shanahan do. But C-Mac's gonna be big. C-Mac's controlling the clock, running the ball. Really being able to, run the rock is going to help them in this game. So it's I think C-Mac and the KC receivers, two most important pieces. Right, two most important pieces. We know they can run the ball, but can they consistently keep running the ball? If they get down, they are still going to stick to the run.
Mm-hmm.
Right, those are two other KC receivers going to be able to get open. We know that San Fran's going to do 4 down line. They're not going to bring a lot of pressure. They may or may not come at Mahomes. Can you get open? Right, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge in this game.
And I also think the linebacking core for Greenlaw and Fred Warner. Because if Kelce's getting off and he's getting easy passes, 5-10 yards here, and you got to chase him all day, then that means Pacheco can get out in that flat. Now there's nobody out there.
Yeah.
So that's going to play a big, because that's basically what Detroit did. They spread them out and they had to cover. Cover. And when you got to cover, now you can run the draws. Now, because Bosa and Chase Young, they come wide for sacks. Sometimes Bosa go underneath every now and then, but they come wide. So now you're gonna give Mahomes a running lane. And like you said, though, the biggest key for me, like you said, is the receivers catching the ball and those 2 tackles. And on the flip side with Frisco, they DBs have to play better. Because if they don't, you giving Mahomes short fields, and y'all back there pulling and grinding, it's gonna be a problem. It's really
like I said, that's why it's going to be very important for them to play well. And KC players, receivers play. They've been getting open of late.
Yes.
Can they continue that?
And Sky Moore coming back, even though I think he's been part of the problem too, for dropping a lot of passes. And when he went down, that's when you saw Rice ascend. When he got hurt, and you saw Rice. So now that he's coming back, I really want to see how does Andy Reid make the movement at wide receiver. You see what I'm saying? With Sky Moore coming back. He dropped a lot of passes this whole season until he got hurt. And now he's coming back off of IR. So it's going to be real interesting. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how that works, man. I agree. I mean, yeah, I agree. But he's haven't played in a while. So is he going to be able to, jump right in and be able? This is the most important game of the season. Would you really willing to do that? I thought that with, I thought Baltimore for me, bringing in Mark Andrews, kind of threw their rhythm off.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think when they were going with Likely. I think Likely was playing so well and causing so many matchup problems. I didn't really think that you need to bring Mark Andrews. Maybe let him play, but man, keep his snaps down about 10-20. And keep letting Likely play the way he was playing, because I think he was killing teams.
Hey, I got one more too. Eric Bieniemy. And the only reason I say that is this. Eric Bieniemy has been breaking down film for this game for Andy Reid. He went to Baltimore to have a talk with them before the game. You can guarantee he got some involvement that we might not never know about. but he's involved in this game some kind of way. From a behind the scenes standpoint of film watching, talking to Matt Nagy, talking to big guy, the coach, all of that. He's got some kind of hand in this. People might not think so, but I really do believe he's been breaking down film, talking to Mahomes, telling him certain things that San Francisco does that he knows about, that he sees from a standpoint, and nobody's not going to give him no credit for it. We know that, or nobody's not going to talk about it. But I think he has some kind of hand in this game of what they're going to do on offense.
No, you should. Washington play 49ers this year?
Yeah, we played the 49ers, yeah.
So I'm sure, the enemy's experience playing against them,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he should have time. He is unemployed, so.
It's sad that he don't have a job, honestly, bro.
It is.
Yeah. Y'all did that man dirty, man.
Man, I would say this. I think Bieniemy made a bad choice in coming to Washington when you know that you got a lame duck coach.
Facts. Yeah, facts.
Well, I think the coach was one thing, but I think he didn't realize that the owner was going to sell at that point.
True.
Right? I think he thought to himself like this: the owner it was going to be a minute. But then the owner immediately sold, like right after that decision to make him the assistant head HC, in the OC. I think at that point he was like, yeah, like I'm going ahead. All the stuff hit the wall, and he was ready to sell. And I think at that point it was kind of like, dang. And I think he got caught up in that, thinking like maybe I have a chance to take, because he knew he had a lame duck coach, but I don't think he knew he had a coach that was going to get fired and the owner was going to leave and sell the team. So I think that right there probably caught him off guard. But yeah, I mean, maybe he thought he would get considered. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. I just know they did that man dirty when it came to other stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They were like, they like gave him an opportunity. They did all the extra stuff, and then when they let him go, they basically they were like, he said he told me personally. I was like, man, you could just told me on the phone. Like, why in the world you tell me the price that you let me, that you not bring me back, and you going to get the OC? I mean, one of the offensive analysts from Kingsbury. You going to get Kingsbury? Come on, man, that's crazy. That's crazy right there. All right, man, let's dive more to this game. San Francisco offense. Can he expose any of the weakness in that Chief defense? Ray, start us off there.
I would say running game. Take the pressure off of Purdy. Let CMC go to work, offensive player of the year. Like, that would be the type, because like I said, KC had a great year from a secondary standpoint. Got one All-Pro at one of the corners. So you're going to play well. Spags always have good, solid defenses, but I'm attacking them, because if you pass, and Shanahan's kind of get in the habit of that, now you're letting Chris Jones be able to get off on the one-on-one. And I know they're not going to rush Chris Jones on the side of Trent Williams. So I would say if I'm Shanahan, I'm attacking their D-line. I'm straight running at them.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think that's the biggest weakness is the run game. But knowing Spagnolia, he's going to make the adjustment, I would think, because we're in the big game and you got to make adjustments, in the big game, because they made the adjustment against Buffalo. Buffalo was running down their throat, and Spags made the adjustment in the second half, and Buffalo wasn't running the ball, like they was in the first half. So, like I said, I agree with you. The biggest thing for Frisco is running the ball. If Frisco can run the ball and keep Mahomes on the sideline and they don't turn the ball over, now it forces Mahomes to have to score. But Frisco can't get field goals. They cannot get field goals. You're going to have to get touchdowns to make this thing right.
Yeah, man, I agree with that. Man, it's just the one thing I do feel like they should win at the receiving core. They should win there. The O-line, the receiving core, man, like they should really give that team a problem. And that should be the strength. And I feel like if they do that, they should expose what the Chief does, which is not effectively control the run game. And this should be that plan. We're going to run the ball. We're not gonna worry about. We just throw when we need to. Purdy to run if he needs to. We're going to run the ball on you. We got to bring your safeties up. We got to bring it, and we're gonna let. At that point, then we'll let David, was Ayuka, Brandon Ayuka, Juke, whatever his name, Ayuka, Juke. Let him go deep. Let him go and play ball the way he's been playing. Let him run on deep, long routes. Allow him to operate the way he needs to operate. We're gonna dump it down to Debo in the flat. We're gonna let Debo run on crossing routes. We're gonna hit our tight end when we need to. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna run the ball. You're gonna see a lot of C-Mac. You're gonna see a lot of second string running back. We're not gonna come out that running game. If they do that, man, I think they can be successful. I think they can win that game. I think if they don't, they try to drop back and let Purdy throw the ball 35 times. They're not gonna expose that defense of what it is, which is they can't control the run game.
Yeah.
They cannot control the running game. All right, let's have a little fun right here, bro. Like Usher's performance. What do y'all? Let's dive into that a little bit. Like, what are you looking forward to seeing the most?
Man, I need for Usher to be. This got to be a classic. It got to be a classic Usher event, bro. You know, everybody made the whole hype about Shakira and what's her name, and you done had some top performances at the Super Bowl. But for Usher to come off of Vegas, leave Vegas, leave his residency to do the Super Bowl, and you going on tour after this got to be a classic Super Bowl joint. He really has to put it down for this right here. Everybody's gonna be watching. Because once you see this, everybody who didn't go to Vegas, they're going to the Usher concert when he going on tour in August. You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
Too, boy. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, because I got my ticket.
Which one you want to one in DC or Baltimore?
DC. Why would I go to Baltimore?
Because DC one is during the middle of the week. That's the only day I was looking at the one in Baltimore.
Yeah.
As a kite, boy.
I'm going to one in Capital One. I'm going right down the street. Everybody go way out to Baltimore to watch that man. He got 2 nights here, 2 nights in Baltimore.
He got 2 nights.
Yeah, that joint. I didn't see the second night. You see, what day is the second night? It's still the same.
It's literally, you talking about in one in DC?
Yeah.
It's Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. During the week, it's kind of tough for me. But
so Baltimore's Friday, Saturday.
Yeah. That's the reason I love Baltimore.
Here's the thing, the Baltimore one, I mean, all of them, he only was going to do one night. He, after the sales, the first round of sales, brought the second one. Go ahead, D. I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off.
Yeah, he look, bro. He got to put it down. And I think he gonna make a statement, and everybody gonna go and buy the second night after Super Bowl. I think this is gonna be a classic.
Yeah, Usher is Usher, bro. We know he gonna perform. I want to see like what other artists he gonna bring out because he got major hits, like big time hits. So I wonder if he gonna just do the whole show solo, or he may bring out 1 or 2 people. But yeah, Usher gonna do his thing. But I'm not even worried at all. But yeah, I'm taking you high as a cat, boy.
Nah,
I still make mine.
I firstly feel he got to get it. I'm like D, because if he don't, people gonna be like, "Well, we should have had Taylor Swift."
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna rock next to
that's what they're gonna say, man. They're gonna go on that Taylor Swift rant. I ain't trying to hear it. Usher got to bring it, bro. You got to be able to perform. I mean, you're not going against yourself. You're going against Dr. Dre, who was great. You're going against Prince.
Beyonce
when the rain fell down in Miami. You're going against the Michael Jackson performances, the Beyonce when they had to when the Western they shut down. They shut down the game in New Orleans because of the power generator. But like allegedly wise, but man, listen, he's got to give it his all because if you don't, they're gonna talk about Taylor Swift even more.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to hear no more about Taylor Swift.
For sure. And what's bad is the NFL is making it worse. Like the NFL is making people like, look, man. Like you keep showing her, and like in the Baltimore game, she pushed the camera away, and I'm just like, yo, you done made your money, let it ride,
man. And I like Taylor Swift, by the way, but it's not hate on her.
No, it ain't
on them.
No,
bro, let it go.
Like, dude, you making your money.
Let's let it go. Let's let it go, man. Taylor Swift, I like her. She cool. She does great stuff, but man, let it go, bro. I am done with the Taylor Swift every week. Every conversation, like every time I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk to Kelce and the fade, the Kelce fade. When everybody been getting fade for years, look, I ain't like they like little Boosie been out here with them fades. Like
Right now,
the Kelce fade. Well, you know the Boosie done put out the fade, and Boosie ain't started no fades. So that alone, Kelce hasn't. So
Hey, dude been wearing fades since the 90s. Like, what did he talk about? Early
80s.
late 80s.
Like
Y'all talking about the Kelce fade. Like, man,
Kelce fade, man.
and
Embarrassing.
the sway came out in 2009. We've been doing that. So what are y'all talking about? Like, this on his own, man. Like, come on, man. They need to stop, bro.
Embarrassing, man. It literally is one of the most embarrassing situations. So, well, you know, it is what it is. But we can, if San Fran do what it do, Baltimore supposed to shut it down. We ain't supposed to have this type of conversation. We supposed to had a conversation about Baltimore and places like Baltimore and Detroit. We've been talking about who gonna have the better Gators, who gonna have the more pimps in the audience, who gonna be the realest, who gonna be the trillest, like who. We've been talking about Eminem and who's Baltimore's most famous person, Carmelo. We've been talking about Melo, Eminem, like all them people at the game. We've been talking about them. We've been talking about the pimps.
Yeah, you know the J Dilla mixtapes from back in the
Yeah, man, we ain't supposed to be talking about this, man. They ruined it for us.
Yeah, they
So I ain't got nothing to say.
I think this Super Bowl, Baltimore and Detroit put a damp on people there because they were looking for something different. And I think, you know, a lot of people like, damn, man, y'all had a chance. Y'all had the home field. Detroit, you came out and did what you were supposed to do. Baltimore, you stunk it up. You froze at the moment that everybody felt like this was y'all year. You go out to San Francisco, you blast them. You know, you look like, man, look, these boys like they ready. And then you get to the point where you see that man, you know, flying in from Kansas City, and y'all sitting there looking like Willie Lump Lump. Buffalo as well. You know, they look like Willie Lump Lump. Like, come on, man, y'all. I think they ruined a lot of people Super Bowl because if Baltimore, Detroit was there, this is going to be crazy. You know,
I think it'd be a lot more fun. Man, I think a lot of people would have been there more. I just feel like, you know, like it just would have been fun to watch those two teams rock against each other. I mean, two of the most blackest hooded cities in the world. Why? I would love to see that. I mean, how many? I'm trying to see. You got the battle of
the Pimps and Players, and the crab cake versus the Pimps and Players. You know,
you got a battle. You got a battle of the house music versus that's what it did. It'll be like the
Baltimore Midwest.
You know what I mean? Who got the best shuffle? You know what I mean? Like that would have been. I really would have enjoyed it. That's why I'm not even that excited about the Super Bowl because I really want to see these two different things, man. I want to see the contrast of these two hood ass cities. Let's dive into what the NFL Hall of Fame that just went through this past weekend. I mean, actually a couple of days ago, a day ago. Ray, what was your thoughts on who you thought should have been a part of this list that, you know, just came out?
I would say Antonio Gates. Leading one of the all-time greats at tight end. I think Reggie Wayne should have been in that list. He's been passed over the last couple of years. He got the numbers. Those two really stick out to me. Should have been on it this year. And it's hard, like when you only got a certain number of spots and you got the Veterans Committee, I think you got two. I think the Hall of Fame should at least maybe cap it at 10 because every year you're gonna have cats that should be first ballot that don't make it, and they should be there, right? I know they'll probably get in the next year, but now people, you know, passing away like crazy these days, and you want to give these cats their flowers while they're here. But those two, I think, really sticks out to me.
I think Torrey Holt and Antonio Gates.
Yeah, Hope in another one, like he should be.
Torrey Holt's got the numbers, all of that. I just think, me personally, I think they should put people in per position. You know what I'm saying? Not just pick every position should get nominated for it. You know what I'm saying? And I think because at that point in time, if you got all these athletes, you know, like you said, people dying, like you know what I'm saying? People dying every day, every week. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you should have every position should. Now, quarterback is real tricky because a lot of them, you know, is not gonna get it. But when you have receivers, You have, O-line, D-line, DB, stuff like that. I think you can at least put 10 people in, man. I just really do think you can at least put 10 in and keep it moving. Because, a lot of the guys got the numbers, and they keep getting passed over. So some people just like, man, forget it. It is what it is. If I get in, I don't. But at this point in time, you gotta find some kind of way to increase who gets in at this point in time.
Who would you take off, though?
The dude from Chicago.
You talking about Steve McMichael?
Yeah, if you were gonna put him in, you should have put him in. Dog, Steve McMichael paid in the 80s, bro.
Don't matter.
Dog, but I'm just saying though, the man dead. The man is dead.
Don't matter.
His wife had to come out there. But Ray, you just said just a few minutes ago.
I don't think he did.
Huh?
I think he did.
Yeah, I think he is dead.
They put a clip on. They put a clip where Richard Dent called him, like, say he made it to the Hall of Fame. And I don't know when that was.
I think he has ALS.
Yeah, they said, yeah.
I think that's what the issue is. He has ALS. So I think it's one of the things where you have ALS, and I think you lose functionality of your body. So
he's in a wheelchair, something like that.
Okay, so this man been playing in the 80s, bro. He just now getting in 2024. Come on, bro. That joint is ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, I think he retired in '94. So it says right here,
ridiculous.
He retired in '94.
Bro, that is ridiculous, bro. This man just now getting in the Hall of Fame. Like, come on, bro. That's damn near 20 years.
That's the same thing with the guy. That's the same thing.
Almost 30 years.
You can say that with the guy that the Broncos that made it.
Who, Mecklenburg?
Yeah. Was it Mecklenburg? No, I don't think it was called Mecklenburg.
Steve Atwater. Wait a minute.
Well, it wasn't Atwater. Atwater been there since the 20.
But okay, regardless, bro, that's why I said you should go to 10. And it shouldn't take, if you know somebody getting in, bro, it shouldn't take you 30 years.
I get it.
If you think these guys are Hall of Famers, why not have a Hall of Fame like they do? Have a Hall of Fame in the spring, have a Hall of Fame in the fall. In the fall, you have it two separate times where you put different people in, but you do it twice a year instead of doing once a year. You see what I'm saying? Because if you only putting 4 or 5 people in, you might well have it twice a year. You should have it twice a year to where you put certain people in. Because a man had to wait 30 years to get his recognition. And if y'all felt he was that good to put him in now, shit, you could have put him in years ago. So I just think the NFL need to do a better job about that. I know it's slim pickings of how you want to put people in, but damn, bro, at least do it twice a year then. Don't put a man in when he's dead. Hell, he can't see it. Let's be honest.
He's not dead. He has ALS. So you keep saying
no. I'm just saying in general, like you waiting so long and people die, you can't put them in. They don't see their, what they've accomplished. They see what they accomplished, but they never got into that Hall of Fame.
But you still haven't said who you said you would take Steve McMichael off the list.
Yeah,
that's it.
And I'll take the other dude from the Broncos. Let me see. Yeah,
Randy.
Yeah,
it was Grasher. That's his last name. You would take him off?
Yes. I would put Torrey Holt and I'll put Antonio Gates.
But if you look at his stats, 10-year career, 2 of the 7 Pro Bowls, 2 first-team All-Team. So would you take him off?
Give me that. That's my point. Look what you just said. He went to 7 Pro Bowls.
He's the Broncos' all-time leading tackler with 2,000 tackles, man.
So this is my question. What year did he retire?
19 sacks, 20 interceptions, 13 fumble recoveries, 4 defensive touchdowns. He was a defensive player of the year. How would you take him off?
Question. When he retired?
70s, probably
in the 80s.
That's my point. Why he's not in the Hall of Fame before now?
Yeah, I get it.
But still, though, maybe because of the fact that he just haven't been getting selected.
But that's my point.
You just can't take him off because of the fact that he played in the 70s and 80s.
No, what I'm saying is, if they felt like if he got stats like that, why the hell he's not in the damn Hall of Fame before now? 30-something damn years.
When you look at his stats was better than Patrick Willis.
That's my point. So why? So Patrick Willis got in after how many years? 8 years since he's been retired?
The minimum.
He got 5 All-Pro honors, 7 Pro Bowls, but he was never he's never defensive player of the year.
That's my point.
But Pat Willis in that short time frame, you can probably say he was the best linebacker in football. In that them 7 or something years he played.
I mean, but he was never player of the year in his position though. What about Andre Johnson? So Andre Johnson was before Torrey Holt. Would you put Torrey Holt over Andre Johnson?
No.
You wouldn't?
No, because when you thought about the Rams, you didn't think of Torrey Holt as the number one. You thought about Andre Bruce. Whereas with Andre Johnson, he was the guy.
Yeah.
Andre Bruce isn't.
No, he's not.
Andre Bruce isn't. He's the only receiver of the trio that's in there. He isn't there.
You know
who?
Isaac Bruce.
Isaac Bruce. But Torrey Holt was the man on that team.
Yeah.
No, Isaac Bruce was the guy.
No, that's why Torrey Holt was the man on that team.
No, he was the man.
You better watch the play again. Yes, he was.
No, but if you're comparing him and Andre Johnson was the guy.
So was Torrey Holt.
We never looked at Torrey Holt as
Torrey had one of the best rookie seasons. That what they were saying. How they had Torrey Holt one of the best rookie seasons in the NFL.
But you could. Man, this is a good question, right? I never looked at Torrey Holt as the guy for the Rams. It was always Isaac Bruce to me. Torrey Holt was that good secondary guy because he was still younger. But Andre Johnson, he should have been first ballot. Like, dude was a dog. A dog. He was the whole. You can't even name a second receiver for Houston when he played.
They ain't had a Dookie.
You can't name a second receiver where?
In Houston when Andre Johnson was in it, and he was rolling. Like, he was the guy. Like, he was. You could talk that he was like one of the top receivers in football. Like,
I'm still trying to understand. I'm still looking at this list, man. Torrey Holt could have went over Devin Hester.
I mean, yeah, I get it, but when you lead all time,
you talking about production and stats, right? Yeah. And Torrey Holt has a championship.
He do.
With 2 Super Bowl visits.
I get it. Like, it's tough at that receiver spot, bro, getting in, dog. And then next year, you think they're gonna put Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne in together?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at this list. It can be a lot of holes in there. But you gotta, I can't just pull a guy off like the old vets you're talking about, those your old players. Just can't pull them off because they retired in the 80s.
Yeah, that's why you gotta expand it, bro. Like,
you gotta expand. Like, them dude been waiting for 30 years. That's crazy.
Larry Allen, he should have been in. He arguably was the best guard of all time.
Who?
Larry Allen for the Cowboys.
Larry Allen.
He ain't getting in.
The dude from Jacksonville ain't get in either. What's the big guy?
Taylor ain't getting in. Aaron Woodson ain't getting in.
What's the big lineman? What's the big lineman for Jacksonville? Who?
Marcelo?
But I don't think he got in.
He's in.
When he get in?
He's in the last 2 or 3 classes. He's in.
I think one of them has. I think one of them did go in eventually.
Baselli.
I think Tony Baselli.
Yeah,
Tony Baselli.
Yeah, I think he ended up getting in. Yeah. I don't know. It's just I feel like it's always gonna be up in the air about somebody.
No question, no doubt.
Yeah, it's always up in the air. All right, man. Let's dive into Lamar's winning his second MVP. Let's discuss that, man. Like, what was y'all feeling when you saw that he won it? He won his second MVP as of yesterday. Ray started us off on that one.
It was earned. He had a phenomenal year. It's just unfortunate, he's gonna be overshadowed by the playoff loss. He had a great bounce back year. Definitely earned, but everybody's not gonna talk about that. They're gonna talk about the playoff loss. And we talked about he needing a stamp on his career, this playoff run, and he fell short. And I think that's what people really gonna look at overall. And it's definitely a great accomplishment winning, for a second MVP, putting in the elite class, elite status.
Yeah, I think like you just said, like for Lamar, people felt like this was their year. This was the year that Baltimore gets over the hump. He takes them to the Super Bowl, get a victory, and I think that would have really cemented his what he's done and what he's meant to the NFL, but also to Baltimore by having 2 MVPs and hopefully, winning a Super Bowl. That really would have put him over the top. But like you said, I mean, yeah, you won the MVP, but at the end of the day, dude, for Lamar, and it's sad that it is, he's going to be he has to win the Super Bowl. Period. And I think the same thing, just like with Lamar, it should be said with Josh Allen. Like those two are elite quarterbacks, but when you can't beat Ric Flair, and Ric Flair steady, Ric Flair went on the road this year, and Pat Mahomes beat Josh Allen at his house, beat Lamar at his house, and the crushing blow for Lamar is you had the home field advantage. You had everything going the right direction. Y'all was feeling good. You just came off of beating Frisco. You got everybody going, everybody waiting for this game, and you didn't perform. You didn't perform to the Lamar that everybody felt you should have performed at. And I think for him now, you got to get back next year. You have to find a way to get back next year, whether it's on the road or home again. You got to find a way to get back to that AFC Championship. But this time, you got to win it. You have got to win it.
I agree, man. I feel like it's a damper to it, right? Like we all see I don't know if you've seen the video with, you had a lot of the with Carmelo gave his congrats, LeBron. You got all these guys, Larry Fitzgerald's and Peyton Manning, all these guys giving congratulations, but it just didn't feel right. Because it's not only because he lost, it's how they lost.
Mm-hmm.
The meltdown, the interception at the end of the game. Man, it just felt like it was a good job. You had a great regular season, but your postseason record is still not what it needs to be considered like what those upper echelon quarterbacks are, right? And all you need is a good postseason run. Get to that Super Bowl and win it, and then everything changes, right? You got 2 MVPs in the Super Bowl, man. You're basically in the same company as somebody like Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
It will just change the complexity of how everybody feels about him if he goes and wins the Super Bowl, or even at least get to one. Right now, man, we're just looking at him as super talented, great talent, great quarterback, but can't win that games that gets you to that next level. And I feel like that's just the issue right now. And it's not going to change until he gets it done.
Well, he paid Manning 2.0.
Yeah.
That's basically what Lamar is. He's Peyton Manning 2.0. Like Peyton couldn't get a dub in the playoff out of paper bag. Like you have a great regular season, but you falter in the playoff, and that's what he's going through right now. He's going through that pain and suffering of, dude, you got home field and you still losing. You go on the road, you're not playing like yourself, or you turning the ball over. It's just little things that is holding them back from getting to that elite level. And I think that's where he needs to figure out, and the team needs to figure out, and hopefully get over that hump next year.
Yeah, I just feel like, yeah, you're right, man. We're just sitting there waiting for him to get to that next level. And I think that's the issue we have right now with him. Just, man, like great MVP. It's sort of how LeBron was racking up MVPs but wasn't winning championships.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's kind of like great. You win these MVPs, man. We know you're a great talent, but can you go out and win? Can you take your team to that next level? He's been having really good teams around. This is probably the best receiving core, best defense he's had. Best everything, O-line. So everything was in line for him to kill it. He just didn't do it. It's disappointing for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's where we are with them. But you got any additional thoughts on that?
No, we're good, bro.
Man, let's have one more discussion point. We all saw what's going on with Chip Kelly. Right? Absolute crazy. Like, I've never seen a head coach decide he no longer wants to be a head coach. He wants to be an offensive coordinator. I've never seen that. And this guy interviewed for the Commander's job, Raiders, Seahawks, was not offered none of the positions. Found the opportunity to Ohio State Buckeyes because their LOC left to take the job at Boston College. What was your thoughts when you heard about him basically leaving the UCLA, which is probably about to lead this program in absolutely disarray, to go take the OC job at Ohio State. Ray started off, man. What was your thoughts, man, when you hear about this? What went through your brain, bro?
I was like, bro, he leaving a lot of money on the table. I was super shocked. You don't see it. You don't see it. I've never seen it at all, bro. A standing head coach leave. They're going the same conference now to be an OC. But I get it nowadays, bro. I think a lot of these coaches with the NIL, it could be too much, right? Like you trying to recruit a kid talking about money, a parent like you're talking about it. So now, being an OC, you don't have to deal with it as much. So it may happen again. Like it might not be the first time we'll see it, but it definitely was a shock. Leading a historic program at UCLA head coach, whether he's on the hot seat or not, to take a job as an OC, you just don't see it. So I was definitely shocked.
Man, I think it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. But what you just said, though, I think he's wanting to go back to the NFL. I think he want to get back in the NFL. So his way of looking at it is, if I leave UCLA, which I thought was crazy, but I think if I leave UCLA, go to Ohio State, be the OC, prove that I can win, because Ohio State don't win all in. Trying to get all the players out of the portal, spending a whole bunch of money. They are all in or trying to win a NCAA championship this year. So I think from his standpoint, he's looking at it, if I can get them to the championship and perform as an OC at Ohio State, this might be another way of me getting back into the NFL. I could be wrong. I'm just suggesting that that's what I think he's doing. You're trying to get an OC job back into the NFL. Because why would you leave? Why would you leave UCLA where you the head guy, even though you didn't get no head coaching job in the NFL? You probably can get an OC job. You see what I'm saying? So I was just thinking, because the dude from Boston College, he left Boston College, got a job in the NFL with DC, or OC or whatever. So
he's a DC.
He's the DC. Yeah. So he left Boston College where he was the head coach and got a job in the NFL. So I'm just thinking from a standpoint, if he can get the offense on track at Ohio State, that'd be a way of getting him aligned back to the NFL. I think it's crazy how he did it. But I mean,
but you can win at UCLA and ball out, go to the CFP playoff. You can still get a job in the NFL if that's what the NFL wants and what they see of Chip Kelly. But they're not going to think nothing different. They're not going to think anything different of Chip Kelly, whether he's the OC at Ohio State or the head coach at UCLA. It's still Chip Kelly.
Yeah, but I think if he can go win with the talent that he got at Ohio State, which they got out of the portal, because you really don't know who your team's going to be until August anyway. You don't know. You don't know what your team's going to look like. But I think from him leaving UCLA and not getting no job at the NFL, but taking another path and being an OC, he might not be a head coach in the NFL. He just want to be an OC.
I think the NIL ran him out. Like, it gotta be something, bro. Like, he was going to get fired anyway. Like, a lot of people were trying to fire him last year, and I think if they didn't do well, they're going to fire him this year. Man, it look like that NIL money, the whole NIL situation, the transfer portal, he wants no parts of it, right? Even though he's going to Ohio State to be an OC, he would prefer to be an OC than to run his own company, basically, his own organization, because he's done with the boosters and the NIL, because to me, it's no structure to it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I agree.
I would love to hear what his thoughts are. I want to hear, like, what, like, people got to track him down and figure out, like, man, what made you make this move? And apparently he had been trying to make this move for a while. And this is not like, I think last year he tried to, he wanted to, is that to get out of UCLA or get out of just being a head coach, because apparently he had interviewed for the Cincinnati job last year. So, like, is just a lot going on with this situation that apparently he feels a certain type of way. And watching Nick Saban, maybe watch some of these other guys leave, made him say, man, I got to go. I can't just be the head guy here dealing with these boosters, situations, players, money, and he had enough.
And I think it's a lot. And that's what I think a lot of these head coaches are probably going to do. They're like, man, I'm tired of this. Or they're going to put a cap on every team of what you can spend in NIL money and keep it moving. I think that would be the best thing. Each team, you got $1 million per season. You got $1 million for NIL. Once you use that, once you cap that NIL money, that's it. It's a done deal. I think that would be the best thing, because you think it's just the Wild Wild West right now. You're doing whatever. But I think if you put a cap on that money, Now, if the kid talking about, well, I'm gonna go over here and get 500,000. No, you're not. and then that will force these kids. Oh, you can transfer. Just know that it ain't gonna be the same kind of money that these other kids that been getting $2 million, $5 million. You know, and they just need to give a cap. Give each team $1 million. That's the cap per year. There you go.
We'll see, man. But I do feel like that's been the issue. I think the NIL situation is driving a lot of these coaches who have a lot of control over their programs. They're really trying to force them to make different decisions, and they just don't want to make them anymore. Yeah, so good luck at Ohio State. They are loaded. There's no excuse now.
Yeah, they ain't got no excuse, Ryan.
Listen, Ryan Day doesn't win this year. He won't be there next year.
So Kelly might be like, shit, he might be next up to get that job, and Ryan Day be out. You never know.
But this is the thing. I think if you do make a move with Ryan Day, you get him out of there. Like, say you move on, you get a new coach. You look for a new coach. You're not gonna go in house. You're gonna have to go out house. You got to go somewhere else and get a coach in there. You're not gonna go and bring in somebody up on the same coaching tree or even Ryan Day and Chip Kelly have a relationship. I think Ryan Day had to play for him or coach for him for a few different stints. That's why he ended up bringing him in Ohio State. So I think next, if that's the case, let's say Chip Kelly does, say, hey, I want to go for this job. I think at that point, I think you wouldn't be able to do it because of their relationship. Yeah. All right, man. Well, another Arguing Brothers podcast episode in the books. This is very quick. This is one of the quickest episodes probably of all time that we ever had. It's pretty good. I like that. I don't know what's been going on. I don't know if Dante, have you been paying attention to this? I don't know what's been going on with Ray's Wi-Fi. Is it
it's been bad. It's been shaky. If you
it is bad all day.
It's bad right now?
Nah,
It's like on my end, it looks clear.
Boy, you got like you over there scratching on a record right now.
Yeah, he bad the entire time. I just like, yo, no, I ain't even gonna say anything because I don't think it's been right the entire. It's been awful.
Because I can't like on my end, it looks crystal clear.
Man, you got that
New Orleans Wi-Fi. It's been blurry the entire time we've been sitting here.
That New Orleans Wi-Fi, man. You got that New Orleans Wi-Fi, man.
You gotta get 2 different modems or something, man. I don't know what's going on.
Got 2 different modems. I'm on my external modem.
Oh man, you got that New Orleans Wi-Fi.
I don't know what it is, though.
That thing been sitting there. It's been absolutely awful the entire time. I didn't want to say nothing to y'all. Like, you know what? We just gonna keep going, man. But man, it's been absolutely awful.
Damn.
Yeah, man, it's been terrible, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's because the way you located that in the basement. Don't know. But yeah, it's been bad.
Yeah, right by the board.
Yeah, maybe you should put your head on top of it. So I don't know, man. I really don't know what to tell you.
I'll just give y'all the spotlight when I put the clips out there. I'll give y'all
okay. We appreciate it, man, because I think you have no choice.
Give y'all a spotlight, though.
I don't think you have a choice, man.
I just got that,
All right, man. All right, so man, final thoughts so we can get out of here. D, start us off.
Oh man, keep pushing. I'm gonna talk to Ratcliffe today about the thing for the podcast for the football game or whatever. So I'm gonna send him an email and see what he respond back with that. But that's about it, man. Just continue to work. Got this kid doing what he needs to do, so we keep pushing.
Another one in the books. Keep supporting.
Likewise, man. Any prediction before we get up out of here for the Super Bowl?
You know I'm rolling with. I've been undefeated for the past couple of weeks. So I got to go. I'm going with my man Patty.
I got okay.
Yeah, I think this is going to be. I think it's maybe the upsets. I think I got him going as well. I got San Francisco in this game. Close one, but I think San Francisco may pull it out. Yeah, you did pick the Chiefs against the Ravens, right?
I picked the Chiefs against the Ravens, and I picked the Chiefs against Buffalo.
Okay, great. You stuck one team. Fantastic.
Well, ride with Patty.
Ride with Patty all the way to the end.
Okay. Well, final thoughts. We out. That was it. Ray, get us out of here, man, and we will reconvene next week.
Yes, sir.
talking about? What we talking about? I can do this.